I kind of have this sort of goal in my head to one day be the CEO, riding in my convertible to work with the windows down, top down, and bumping hip-hop music, just kind of because I can. Hi, my name is Chris Mall, and I am a MBA student at the University of Illinois, currently in my first year, and grew up in Cleveland, Ohio, in the suburbs, 25 miles east of Cleveland, in a city called Mentor, Ohio. When I graduated from high school, moved on to Penn State University, where I obtained my mechanical engineering degree. Upon graduating, I moved back to Ohio, working for Goodyear Tire and Rubber Company. And about 7 months after I was there, they had massive layoffs, and I happened to hire into the wrong department at the wrong time. And so 7 years into my professional career, I experienced getting laid off. Wasn't too fun, learned a lot about myself. In the upcoming 4 months, went out and got a job out in New Jersey. Wanted to get away from Cleveland, get away from home, see the big city. I was in Morristown, New Jersey, about 25 miles from New York City. Went to New York City every weekend, had a blast. About 2 years after I was working out there, I decided it was time to come back to grad school, get my MBA. So I took the risk, left my job, left my salary, I had just gotten a promotion, left all that, and moved everything out to Illinois, where I am now in grad school. I was elected the president of my MBA school. That means I'm the president of the first-year MBAs and the second MBAs. It's kind of a unique experience that not all schools offer. So I took office this past January, and we're making a lot of things happen. We got $10,000 for a Women in Business Conference that we just had. We've already got $10,000 for next year's Women in Business Conference. We're going out and raising money for things so our students don't have to pay to do all these things. I have different facets to my personality. I have a very kind of like a hard side, and I have a very soft side. Like I said, I grew up in the suburbs of Cleveland on one side. The other side, I love hip-hop music. I grew up on hip-hop. I listened to it my whole life. Like I said, I'm an engineer, so I like math classes. I'm a big math person, and I'm a big finance person. My MBA is actually in finance. But at the same time, I love marketing, I love organizational behavior, and I love subjects like psychology, kind of the softer subjects, understanding people and things like that. I'm a huge sports fan, and I'm a die-hard competitor. I don't know if you've seen Meet the Parents or not, but there's a volleyball scene where Greg happens to spike the ball, and it hits the bride-to-be in the nose and messes her face up for the wedding. Well, that's kind of like what my family volleyball games are like, and I'm the Greg of the group. I actually gave my aunt a face plant a couple years ago, and she had a nice black eye and almost a broken nose from one of my spikes. And unfortunately, instead of immediately apologizing, I kind of yelled like an in-your-face type yell. But then I apologized later because I felt bad. But in the heat of the battle, I get really competitive. And, it's kind of like, as long as I'm following the rules, I'm not breaking any rules, anything goes, and that's the way I compete. It's not how you play the game, it's whether you win or lose. The win-first mentality is always in my mind, and I think that has kept me driven. I also have a very soft side. I'm not this hardcore person all the time. I know when to step back, I know when to ease up, I know when to listen. And actually, a lot of girls come to me for advice because I can understand their personalities, and I understand mistakes that guys make and things like that. So I'm a personable person. I'm not just a competitor. God gave me two strengths, and it's hard for me to talk about my strengths because I'm typically pretty humble, but I think He gave me the ability to understand people, and He gave me above average intelligence, which has helped me throughout my entire life. The ability to understand people, to me, is the most important thing, and some people call it emotional intelligence. And I feel like I have the ability to motivate people, to get the most out of other people, and to get people to like me and to really buy into what I believe in and what I want to do. Especially as an MBA president, I feel like I've gotten the entire class to rally around and to give me ideas and to motivate them. And there's a lot of things that we're doing that no class previous has done. We're involved in a business simulation that's called Global Tycoon, and the way it works is there are two industries that aren't competing against each other. It's completely separate. So my industry is Industry A, and within Industry A there's 6 teams. My position is the Vice President of External Relations, aka the negotiator. I have a great team of 10 people, including myself.
Oh, wow, that's nice.
Very diverse. We have some students from Taiwan, some students from India, Japan, Indonesia as well. And it's interesting to get all the different people's personalities and to learn what they know about the specific fields that they're kind of working in. We tried to match everything up, so someone that's good at marketing is the vice president of marketing, and logistics is logistics, so on and so forth. Unfortunately, I've alienated a few other teams with my negotiations.
We have a decent amount of margin to work with still, even though I lied and said we didn't.
We kind of sold our DVD format to 3 other groups and kind of left one group out in the dust. And that was our main competitor. She said they're boycotting us. Me, at least. And they weren't too happy about that. So I think my name's pretty much mud as far as they're concerned right now. But they did make a deal with me after that, and that was, I think, beneficial for both parties. So I'm also a little bit deceptive, and I think that works to my advantage as well. I kind of know how to play people, and I think that helps me in the business world. A lot of people, when I first came into the MBA program, looked at me as an idealist, and I had some friends call me Pollyanna because I'm always smiling and everything's great and everything's happy. And in my mind, you know, everything's not always great and everything's not always happy. And it might seem like that's what I think, but in my mind, I know the facts and I know what I need to do to get things done.
Hey, every dollar counts.
I'm a firm believer that if someone perceives you to be naive and you're not actually naive, that's empowering you and that's making them ignorant. And that allows you to do a lot of things behind the scenes and to do a lot of kind of deception in a way. And if, you know, in business, it works to your advantage a lot of times because people think you're going to overlook certain facts or that you're not focusing on certain things, and you can come in and underswipe them with intelligence that they never expected from you. Some of my weaknesses. Unlike my mother, who has this amazing talent, I cannot watch TV, read, and talk on the phone all at the same time. I concentrate on one thing when I'm working on something. I like to concentrate on it. I can walk, talk, and chew gum. That's not a problem. But when it becomes things that involve too much, you know, thinking or variables, I need to stay focused, and I need to, you know, generate my thought process towards one particular thought.
What did you think of him as a leader?
I think it was a
extreme type A people, aka half of, if not all, the people on The Apprentice that never think they're wrong and always think they're right and don't want to listen to anyone, press every single button in my body. It drives me crazy. And in the MBA program, obviously there are people like this. And one of the things I've been working on is trying to figure out what motivates these people, what's going on in their minds. How can I get into their head and help myself get through to them and get them on my page? And it's something that's going to take a lot of work, and I think I'm making progress in it, but I still get this rush of just wanting to explode on someone if they start acting like that. So it's something I need to learn to control. And I can get emotional too. You know, anytime I'm talking about my family, I get emotional thinking about them and how much I miss them because I don't get to see them very much. So it's tough. To me, that they're the most important thing in my life right now. I'm not being married and not having any kids of my own. I don't lose. I don't want to lose. I never want to lose. And I'd say the majority of the time I don't lose. And I feel like I watch the show and I watch people every week, and I don't care if this person is an MIT grad with a 4.0 and they've, you know, made themselves $3 million. People don't always understand other people, and they make stupid decisions because of that. And I feel like, as I mentioned earlier, one of my strengths is I have the ability to understand people, and I know what people are looking for, and I know how to get the most out of other people. And when someone is intelligent and has gotten all of this, you know, wealth and stardom and all of this on their own, a lot of times they don't know how to deal with someone that's below them in their mind, or someone that's, you know, kind of like an average person on the street that you might need to buy something from you or something like that. And I feel like my ability to understand people will get me through this and will definitely drive me towards the top. It's the Donald Trump signature collection. I'll give him my look. John gave me this. He goes, hey, take a look at this. Donald Trump signature collection. Kind of looks like you. Oh, that's pretty funny. Back to work.